Hello there, everyone. It's Ariel Helwani being joined by one of the most talked about men in the fight game today, the one and only Ben Askren. We reported Tuesday morning that Ben Askren will be fighting Jake Paul. Yes, that Jake Paul in an 8-round pro boxing match on April 17th, 10-ounce gloves, around 185 to 190 pound range. We have a lot of questions. The internet has exploded. Everyone was wondering who Jake Paul would fight next. It turns out his next fight is against a pro fighter, an MMA fighter. They've been going back and forth for quite some time, and now here we are. Wow, holy smokes. Ben, how are
Here
you?
we
And
are.
congrats on getting the fight.
Nice to talk to you, Ariel. MMA's been pretty wild lately, so been following all your stuff with Conor McGregor and whatnot. So it's nice to get to talk to you. Maybe we'll talk about me. Maybe we'll talk about MMA. You never know.
Well, I'd love to get your take on some of the stuff going on in MMA, but you're in the news right now.
Okay.
And if I'm being honest, when you announced your retirement on this program last year, I didn't think that this would happen. You told us you needed hip replacement surgery. It
I
went well.
got it.
You
Look
there?
at this.
Yep.
Look at this.
Let's see.
Let's
Let's
see
see.
this.
Oh my gosh, that
Look
is
at that.
wild. Wow.
Seriously.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
will talk about all that. But so let me ask you, when did the talks to fight Jake Paul in a boxing match begin? How did this happen?
Yeah. So it was actually 2 years ago when I retired, Ariel. If you remember, it was November of 2019. We're in 2021 right now.
Yeah,
Uh,
time is flying.
well, he fought that basketball player.
Yep.
And like that week, he was saying he wants to fight me, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm not doing nothing. And okay. So then a couple weeks later, some of their people reached out, and oh wow, okay. I thought he was just like saying a bunch of names, like some people do sometimes. And they were serious. So then it's like, okay, I had actually started working out a couple weeks prior because, I had hip surgery. I couldn't do anything. I had gotten overweight because I love to eat. And I'm like, hey, I probably should start working out because I don't want to be fat. And I know myself, and here's myself. I have to actually like have a reason to like not eat ice cream and diet. So I was actually planning on like going to do some wrestling matches maybe at some point this year, just to be competitive. I enjoy competing. And then this came up, and it seems like the perfect opportunity for me. The guy's not really a boxer or a fighter at all. He's a YouTube star. They offered me a bunch of money, and I'm excited to do it.
Okay, so when you were offered the opportunity to do this, was there any kind of like basically it seemed like everyone was going after him, right? It seemed like he had options. There was Dylan Dennis out there. There were other pro athletes.
Yeah.
Why did they pick you? Because it seemed like he had the pick of the litter, right?
Well, I'm a marquee name, obviously, Ariel. Dylan Dennis, I think he's legit scared of Jake Paul. That is, I can't prove that. I have no proof for you. But just to feel, I'm pretty good at getting feelings of situations. My feeling is like, yes, Jake Paul actually wanted to fight Dylan Dennis because he's really a bit. And Dylan Dennis is actually scared of Jake Paul. That's legitimately. I'm not messing with you. So I do think I was second pick. Okay.
Okay, because Dylan right now is claiming online that Jake ran away from him.
That is complete. From my understanding of the situation, that is completely untrue. So when his people reached out, I said, "Sure, I'll do it." I mean, I don't care, right? It seems like a fun time to me. And that's why, like, I don't understand some of these people saying, like, why would Ben Askren do this? And I've said this before, but when I was in high school, you grew up in Canada, so this probably happened to you. Like, we had boxing gloves in my house, and every once in a while, when me and my buddies are bored on a Friday night, it was like, hey, let's go back to Ben's house and let's box each other. Like that happened, dumb high school stuff. Like, hey, you fight you, you fight you, you fight you. And we called it a good time. So when they asked me to box, it's not like I'm going to box Mike Tyson. It's not like I'm going to box Roy Jones Jr. Yeah, I would be. If I had to box those dudes, I would be genuinely worried. I would be nervous, right? Or maybe name another good guy. I'd be like, oh shit. Even if I had to fight like in a boxing match, some of these MMA guys. I mean, Ariel, I stepped in the cage with like trained killers, like guys who did this for a living. Jake Paul is a YouTube star. He was beat up two guys who have literally never been in a fight before in their lives. Like the notion that this guy's good at boxing is delusional.
Now, I understand you were still under contract with UFC. So did you have to get their permission to do this?
Yeah. I've been in talks with them. They gave me permission. They didn't really see a huge issue with it, and we're good to go.
That is nice to hear. Now, is this a case where like Conor fights Floyd Mayweather, they're getting a cut of the pay-per-view, or is this all you?
It's all me. Well, did that really happen? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh, they made money off that fight.
Was that proven? Because I thought that was like conspiracy theory.
Well, you think they were just kind of walking around like happy to take part? No, of course they had to take part in the cut of the whole,
Are you
the
sure?
whole pot. Yes, I am sure about that.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
Well,
that's
fair
not a
enough. No.
conspiracy. That's good business on their part, right? They had to give Conor permission to do this. It was going to make a lot of money. You should
Got
be
it.
happy that they're not taking money.
I appreciate that, UFC. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that's one question that I think a lot of people are wondering. The other one is, how could you box? How could you compete? How could you train after coming off hip replacement surgery, which you had in August, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. So September 1st.
September 1st.
Okay. This is funny. So this guy, John Wayne Parr, you know who that is?
Yes, of course.
Very good Muay Thai fighter. So he had the exact same surgery I had. And I was following his Instagram. I think he did it maybe 2 or 3 months before me. I'm not exactly sure the date. And I'm watching this dude train on Instagram, and I'm like, dude, he looks like he's going full go. So sure enough, I reached out. I said, dude, are you going full go? Because my doctor told me I shouldn't go full go for a year. And he said, yeah, I'm 3 months out, and they said I'm clear to go anything I want. Like I could do he's gonna do a real fight, like mixed martial arts or Muay Thai.
Uh-huh.
And so he said, yeah, my doctor gave me full go after 3 months. So I got pissed, and I'm like, wait, why am I waiting a year? This is crap. And I called my doctor or the assistant or whatever, and I said, hey man, this guy's good. This guy's good after 3 months. Why do I have to wait a whole year? And he said, well, listen, that guy's rates of failure or whatever are lower than mine or higher than mine, the doctor, right? I said, well, what's your rate of failure? And he said, 1 in 1,000. 1 in 1,000.
Wow.
And I said, well, that's not a very high rate. So I'm like good to train. He's like, well, we wouldn't advise that. And I said, well, man, that dude's going full go. I'm like, maybe I won't go full out wrestling like next week or nothing, but I'm gonna start working out and everything. And so I started working out. And dude, it's better than before. I mean, honestly, if I would have known what the outcome of the surgery was going to be
mm-hmm.
and how I felt, I would have done it after the first time I retired.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like so much better. I mean, like I had a lot of back pain, and I did not think the hip really had anything to do with, like, I knew probably it was like on this side, but I didn't think it had to do with the full back pain. And like back pain is gone. Just everything is a lot better. I sleep much better. Everything's good.
What about mobility? Cause I mean, you're boxing,
dude,
right?
So much better.
You don't feel restricted.
Oh, dude, no, I feel so much better.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, like not even close. Like I did a workout yesterday on the rowing machine, and I was hitting numbers I'd never hit before. And it was literally because my range of motion is way different than it was when I couldn't, my hip was restricted. I had these like really bad range of motions on things, and now I'm like so much better.
Have you ever had a boxing match? I know you haven't had a pro boxing match, but have you ever done an amateur fight, a smoker, any kind of boxing match before?
No, I've not.
Do you have?
Well, I mean, so in the gym, if we're, I guess, smoker, if you want to say like in the gym, yes, there was days that when I was at Duke's where he said, all right, we're boxing today, just boxing rounds, or we're kickboxing today, just kickboxing rounds. Like,
yep.
Yeah, there's plenty of those days if you want to count that.
Who will be your corner?
I'm actually, after this, I'm going to go sit down with Duke and kind of like hash out a training plan and kind of put a team in camp together. I'm not entirely sure yet how it's going to work out, but I'm going to sit down with him and make a plan.
Will he be a part of your team?
So I want to say, I think he might be cornering someone else that day. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But he will, it's very likely he'll be a part of my camp in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, like I didn't even sign the deal till like 2 days ago. So I had started training and getting in shape because I wanted to train and get in shape. Then when it got like a little more serious, I had like turned up the training a little bit where I was starting to do like every single day. And I started meeting with my strength and conditioning coach again. But we didn't really like have this finalized until like 2 days ago. And, they were throwing around some dates that were much earlier than April 17th. So actually I feel, like 12 weeks, it's like 12 weeks from right now. That's kind of like a long time, and I'm in relatively good shape already. So yeah, I feel really good about it.
Okay. But the official camp hasn't started yet.
No, it has not.
Am I right? 8 rounds, 10-ounce gloves, 20 by 20 cage, ring, 20 by 20 ring, and around 185 to 190 pound range.
Yeah. So I said, what does he weigh? And they said he wants to fight somewhere like 180 something or 190. And I said, well, whatever. He doesn't look like that big of a guy to me. Listen, he's a YouTube star. You know, again, like, I don't know, people are like trying to think he's this good boxer. Like, Ariel, think about the guys I stood across the cage from.
Yep.
Douglas Lima, Andre Krishkov, Robbie Lawler, and they only had 4-ounce gloves on, and they could punch me or elbow me or kick me or knee me. Like, they could do whatever the hell they wanted. And then now I have to box this YouTube star with 10-ounce gloves on. Like, it just is not all that concerning to me.
Okay, so I want to expand on that. This is a fight that was put together by the Triller Fight Club team. He's a Triller fighter. Do you think they picked you because they think that he is going to beat you very convincingly? He's going to knock you out. You're going to be another highlight reel. This is part of the progression in his career. He went from YouTube guy to NBA guy to now fighter. Do you think you were picked because they think that you're an easy fight?
I mean, there's probably one of the, I mean, I don't know, easy fight, but easier of a real fighter. Yeah, there's probably not a high level of belief in my stand-up, which, listen, I'm fine with that. And at the end of the day, I was never trying to be a great stand-up fighter in mixed martial arts. I was trying to be a great fighter. I took people down and beat them up 19 times. I mean, if you look at my 19 fights prior to George, I took every single person down. Almost every single round. There was 2 rounds of, I think, about 50 or so where I didn't get a takedown. Because there's 2 rounds where I didn't take Jay Haran down. So I was very, very highly effective in my strategy. I've also never, besides Masvidal, unfortunately, I've never been knocked down. I've never even been rocked. There was nothing close that ever happened. So I'm highly efficient at not getting hit as well. And that's, again, with a wider plethora of strikes allowed. You can elbow me, kick me, knee me, punch me, whatever in mixed martial arts. And none of those trained killers were able to hit me very hard whatsoever.
So we reported this, a couple hours ago, and I've looked at some of the comments, and especially from your fellow fighters, and the majority of them are counting you out. They're saying this is an embarrassment, that Ben is going to get knocked out, that they're picking an easy fight. And this is what blows me away, and I would love to get your take on it. As you said, 19-0, you started your career. This notion that Ben Askren, like, I covered the majority of your MMA career. You were as dominant of a fighter as there was in MMA, right? And then, of course, the Masvidal fight happens. And now I feel like the whole history of your career has been changed to where all of a sudden you're like this easy out. Does that not piss you off? That pisses me off, and it has nothing to do with me. How does it not bother you?
Well, it's this. You know what? Actually, I heard a great quote this morning. You want to hear this great quote?
Sure.
And so on my podcast I was on, I mentioned that a lot of people in Wisconsin seem like kind of they have a distaste for Aaron Rodgers. And the one guy he's not from Wisconsin, but he's a Green Bay Packers fan. And Aaron Rodgers I guess he has a saying, kill him with indifference. And I thought that was really interesting because I always feel like that's how I am with Twitter. It's like you don't read the comments. You can't think about what people are saying because really, if in the big picture, it's relatively irrelevant. And so if you look at my fight career prior to going to the UFC, it was always this, anyone who doesn't like you, oh, he's never really fought anyone. Oh, when he beat Lima was not good, or he was young, or whatever. Right. So there's always this notion that human beings, and this could be, we want to discount other people. Right. And so, yeah, I mean, I had one bad fight against George. And listen, I never made this, dude. I was not in good shape that entire year because of my hip. I never was I didn't make excuses about it. And to me, it is irrelevant. I chose to compete under the circumstances. That's what I competed under. But the notion that my prior MMA career, like, I beat Douglas Lima 5 rounds to 0, none of which were all that competitive. Douglas Lima is a really, really high-level guy. I was just that good at fighting. It's that simple.
Everyone wants to fight this guy in the fight game. They want to shut him up. Do you feel like you're doing this on behalf of the fighting community, the MMA community? Is this MMA versus boxing? Is this fighting versus YouTube? Are you taking that on your shoulders?
I don't know if I like the MMA community. You know what? So I guess what I would say about this is, everyone who's like a real fighter, they understand, and this is whether, like, I would even consider like wrestlers fighters, or maybe jiu-jitsu, right? Anyone will say a combat athlete, but they understand what it's like to really be a fighter. They understand what it's like to go through hard circumstances and battle adversity and deal with it. They understand that thing, that toughness. Jake Paul is a little boy. He is some rich celebrity who wants to pretend he is a fighter by fighting guys who are really bad. I mean, Jake, no, what's that last basketball player's name? You know,
Nate
basketball.
Robinson.
Thank you, Nate Robinson. And the other jabroni he fought. I never watched that fight. I watched it last night. It was really bad. Really, really. It was not good, Ariel. Like you might have done just as well as that guy. But so he has this notion he wants to be a fighter, and it's almost embarrassing to real fighters. Like it's embarrassing to guys who've actually been in a cage or they've been in a battle, even in wrestling or jiu-jitsu. Like those type of people, it's embarrassing. This guy is parading around like he's actually a real fighter.
Objectively, though, you can't give him any kind of credit. Like it does seem like he has skills for a 2-0 fighter. No, like I mean, he doesn't look like a guy who's a fish out of water. You can't give him some credit.
Well, how can you? No, I know I really can't. I find it very difficult to do so. I mean, how can you give him credit when he's fighting guys who literally look like they've never fought before? Like, Miro, you watch a lot of fighting. Nate Robinson and this other guy.
Yeah.
Do you really think they've ever fought before? Any type of fight?
No, but you could tell when someone has proper technique, right? Or at least knows what they're doing in there, who's taking it serious, good shape, has a good team around. Like he's got, pro coaches and former.
Well, how do you know he's in good shape? He fought one round.
Well, I mean, you just look at the physique in that regard.
Physique doesn't have anything to do with shape.
Spoken like someone who has had his physique criticized. Fair enough. It just looks like he's taking it seriously. No, like he's not out to make a mockery of the sport of boxing. Would you agree with that?
Well, you know what? I think he's out to make money, which
sure.
You know what? The Paul brothers are probably pretty good at that. But I've been thinking about this. The social media thing. I think a lot of them report way more money than they actually make. And, really when you're a social media thing, all you have is like social media star. All you can do is put stuff on your social media. But to actually create an event where you can make money, and boxing is one of these things where you can be not very good at it and people are still interested in it, And so literally Nate Robinson and the other, I don't even know the other guy's name.
Enson Gibb.
That guy.
Enson Gibb, yes. Another YouTuber.
They had literally never been in a fight in their life. And so the notion that we're going to give Jake Paul credit or say he's good, I guess the one thing I would give him, because he did hit those guys pretty hard. Now, they weren't very hard to hit because they'd never been in a fight before, but he'd hit them pretty hard. So I'll give him that.
Are you worried that if you get knocked out by him, this will change the narrative of your entire career? This will take away from the Dan Hodge trophies, the national championships.
How is losing a boxing match have anything to do with college wrestling? That is insane.
It just, honestly, it blows me away that people speak about you the way in which they do as a fighter. Like you deserve you're a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. I'm saying, I know we have our jokes and stuff, but you are a Hall of Famer. You are one of the best and most dominant fighters in the history of mixed martial arts. And oh, by the way, collegiate wrestling. And oh, by the way, Olympic wrestling. And they speak about you like, some schlub off the corner of the streets going in there to fight. Like, you're not a YouTuber. I'm blown away by this.
I mean, no one who knows me.
You want me to be your manager for this?
Listen, Ariel, I will reference the Aaron Rodgers quote again earlier.
Yes.
Kill him with indifference. Anyone who actually knows these sports does not feel that way about me. Okay? And if they feel that way about me, they do not understand wrestling and mixed martial arts. And so I'm indifferent to their opinion. I am completely indifferent.
But in this day and age, memes, right? People make memes with the knockouts and all this stuff.
Yeah, I know. I've seen a couple of those with George Masvidal.
So you're indifferent. Fair enough.
Yes, I'm indifferent. Listen,
okay.
How many times? Listen, Ariel, random guess. Yeah. How many times do you think that effing Masvidal gif has been played?
No, I get it. Like
a million plus.
So he says he's going to knock you out faster than Masvidal. Your response?
LOL.
How much are you making for this?
A lot of money. You're
happy with it?
I'm very happy, yeah.
More than UFC?
More than I've ever been paid for a single fight, yeah.
Wow. Well done. Well done. He makes it personal, right? You saw some of the comments he made about Conor, made it personal. I don't know if you noticed this, but I just noticed on Instagram, he's only following 2 people now. Do you know who?
Who? My wife, probably.
Triller and your wife.
My wife's an outstanding lady. She's
I know. I've met her.
Well worth the follow.
She's lovely, but are you worried about this, that he's going to make it personal?
No, dude, he's some YouTube nerd. Like, I give what this guy thinks.
Have you ever met him?
No. I don't care. I did watch a few of his videos the first time he called me out. Mm-hmm. And it's one of these things, Ariel, listen, I might be a boomer. I might be a different generation. I don't get.
You're not that old, by the way. You're only
listen. I know.
36.
What, we the same age? How old are
I'm
you?
38. I'm older than you.
Okay, listen. So you get this. This is one old guy speaking to another old guy.
Right.
I don't understand why this guy's popular. Like I watch his stuff, and I was like, I don't get it. Like I don't understand what these teenagers seem like. Doesn't seem that funny. He doesn't seem particularly talented. Like I genuinely don't understand what people see in him.
Is this the beginning of a boxing career for you? Like, let's say you knock him out. This could open up a door to a whole new world.
Listen. Well, and this is what I said when I retired from MMA. You can play back the tape. I'm sure I said this.
Yep.
I have no intention of ever training to be a world champion in mixed martial arts before or again, right? Mm-hmm. If something interesting came up at some time, maybe I would say yes. Okay. But I will never be a full-time fighter again. Okay. And I will stick by that. Something interesting came up. I'm taking advantage of that. Something interesting. I think it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm being compensated well. And so I'm going to do this. And will I say nothing will ever happen again after this? No, I'm not saying that, right? What I am saying is I will never be a full-time fighter again.
Will you spar leading up to the fight?
Probably not a ton, but yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm,
I mean, probably a good idea, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, so I think you're probably referencing. I watched the movie Concussion in 2016, and I stopped sparring at that point.
Headgear.
And, yeah. So, but I did some. I've been following the CTE research, and man, some of it just seems like like with the BMI. BMI is body mass index. They set the bar really low, so like anyone with real muscles is obese because it's just weight divided by height, essentially. So with the CTE thing, the one study which I read, where I'm like, okay, they're setting the bar way too low. The study said 87% of any American male who's played 1 year of football and 99% of any American male who's played more than 1 year of football have CTE. And so I'm like, dude, come on. Like that would be literally millions upon millions. I mean, think about so this is obviously, like older males now. So we think like in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, what percentage of American males played football? We're talking a freaking gigantic number, Ariel. So to note that 87% who have played 1 year of football actually have CTE, like there's just no way. You're setting the bar so low that you're getting all these numbers to say yes.
Can I tell you what would be really cool? Like if you bring an all-star corner, like you get DC out there, you get Chael out there.
DC said I'm going to lose. Can you believe this guy? I thought he was a friend. DC, I can't believe you.
Oh my gosh.
He's
dead.
Tell him I think you do a podcast. Tell him he's dead to me.
Okay, fair enough. So all right, so April 17th. It is official, and I think you can have a thing here. You say you don't want to have like an actual.
I don't want to have a thing. I love what I'm doing, Ariel. I'm podcasting. I'm coaching wrestling. I'm really enjoying it. I'm buying some Bitcoin. That's going well. Hey, did you buy any Bitcoin?
No, I haven't. I can't wrap my head around.
What are you doing with your life?
Are you being paid in Bitcoin? Is that true? Did you ask for
that? You know
that?
what? I don't get this whole. Okay, listen. I don't understand being paid in Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin. I don't understand why people say they want to be paid in Bitcoin because it's like this. Listen, I get a paycheck. If I want to go buy Bitcoin, and I probably will buy some more Bitcoin, I'll just buy some more Bitcoin. Like, why do I need to be paid in Bitcoin? I don't need to. Like, if I get a check and I want to buy Bitcoin, which in this case, I'll probably buy some more. I'll just buy it. I don't need to be paid in it. I don't get that one.
Any truth? Okay, so you beat Jake Paul, then you go Logan Paul. You can wipe out the fighting world.
I can wipe out, and then Sean Paul, and then there was this basketball player named Chris Paul. They told me about this morning, and I can just keep going. Is there any more Pauls that you know of?
Wow, this is amazing.
Peter, Paul, and Mary.
I have to say, I'm all in. I love it. I'm looking for. Is there going to be like a press conference, face off, all that stuff?
I believe there's going to be a press conference. I don't believe they've given me an exact date. They've given me a couple possible locations, but they have not nailed one down finally.
Okay. Do you have a preference?
Somewhere warm.
This will be sanctioned by an official commission, all that stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, legit. Incredible. Before I let you go. I do have to ask because you mentioned it at the top. Hot topic right now. What do you do with Conor McGregor? If you're the UFC,
I think I agree with you, and I said this on Saturday night. I think it's Diaz 3. I don't like going the Poirier trilogy at this point. You know what I actually want to do, which I know it won't be done, but I can pretend that I'm in charge sometimes, right? Here's what I would do. I would go 4-man lightweight tournament. Gaethje, Chandler, Oliveira, and Poirier for the belt. Put it together.
Conor not a part of it.
No, why he's got knocked out? Why would he be a part of it? He's
I'm just
out.
asking. Okay,
Put him against Diaz. Put him against Diaz. There you go. Boom.
So who's fighting who in that scenario?
I worked this out yesterday on my other podcast because who's fought before? Oh, Gaethje and Poirier fought. So I separated them. Don't make them fight again. So I think I put Gaethje and Chandler because that's guaranteed to be a good fight because those guys are just gonna try to punch each other really hard. That's gonna be a really fun one. And then Oliveira, Poirier, and then the winners fight for the title.
How about you not giving your fellow Mizzou guy a title shot? Michael Chandler was phenomenal out there.
I just gave him a title shot. I put him in the top 4 for a title shot.
Give him Poirier for the vacant title.
How
great was that promo, though?
It was a great promo, and he did a great job. I mean, like I said, great debut. I mean, everyone's calling it the best debut, and I don't.
By the way, I think your debut against Robbie Lawler was just as good.
That was fun, also. Yeah,
had it all.
It was really good. But here's the thing about, and I want to be unbiased when I say this, right? I think you could definitely put him and Poirier together. I think it makes sense. But lots of times MMA fans are very short-sighted. And so like when Oliveira beat up Tony Ferguson, like no one's ever beat up Tony Ferguson. You know what you said that night? You said Oliveira's won 8 in a row. He just killed Tony Ferguson. He has to get a title shot. I said it. I'm sure you said it. I don't know what you said, but I'm sure so it's like we can't just forget that because it happened like a month ago.
Sure.
We have to recall that notion. And so what I think you have with these 4 is you have 4 guys who all have relevant claims to being able to fight for the title since Khabib is gone. And
comes back?
I don't think so. I think I like it, man. I got this. So I got a bookshelf over there, kind of like the one behind you. Those look like nerdy books, so I got good books on my shelf. And one of the things is very, very few fighters ever retire on time. Yeah. And I love the fact that he rode off into the sunset. And I know Dana really wants him back, but I like what Khabib's doing.
You know what would be great? Boxing, you versus Jake, and then MMA. He has a wrestling background. You know that, right?
I thought his brother wrestled, but I didn't think Jake wrestled.
I think he did as well.
MMA would not be competitive, Ariel.
That
would be embarrassing. I mean, listen, if you want to give me free money, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Official prediction.
TKO round 7.
Round 7. Wow. That late.
Yeah. It's going to take me, because I don't have a huge amount of power. It's going to take me some time to wear him down and make him hate his life. And then, eventually he's going to say, look, I'm a rich celebrity. I don't need to get punched anymore. I'm just going to roll over.
TKO round 7. You're going to work the jab, go to the body a little bit. Do you think
grind him out?
Maybe we should team up. I could teach you a few Helwani boxing tips.
Well, I might buy one of those nerdy balls.
Are you going to do it? Please do it.
Probably not. Well, maybe if you send me some Bitcoin, I'll consider it.
Okay. This is something. It's a crazy thing. Something that was born on the internet. I guess it's apropos considering where he comes from.
What's apropos mean? I don't know.
Appropriate. It's appropriate.
Appropriate. Okay.
Yes, it's kind of a French term. In any event, you are officially fighting Jake Paul, the most polarizing fighter in the world.
Is he really?
Well, I mean, people hate the guy because they feel like he's.
So why do they hate him? I don't get that either, right? I don't get why he's popular.
Like he's insulting the sanctity of boxing. You know what's brilliant about this fight, by the way? The brilliance of this fight is you have the boxing fans who are all riled up because of his existence. Now you have the MMA fans who are going to be interested because of you. The MMA media is going to cover it because of you as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, you were the perfect guy in many respects. It was either you or Dylan Dennis, and apparently you say Dylan didn't want the fight.
Dude, Dylan's can you believe how much of a little this guy is? And now he actually wants to act like he wanted the fight. Like, listen, Eric, I will give you this. And this is, I don't want to crap on myself. I was number 2. I was not in the driver's seat. It was Dylan Dennis. But Dylan Dennis is actually scared of a YouTube star. That's so embarrassing.
The one thing I do want to see, I will admit, I got a FaceTime right before we did this from your old friend Darren Till. And he started laughing.
Darren Till's not my friend. Take that back.
He said you're going to get knocked out, and I said, Darren, how could you? This is a member of the community. This is a brother. It's a fraternity. And he said, no way. And he said you could tell, because I said I'm about to talk to you. He said you could tell Ben I said that. I'd like to see you get a little support from the MMA fighter.
Darren Till? No, listen, I don't like them that much. They don't like me. It's fine. I'm great.
All right. Good luck to you, Ben. Congrats on getting the fight. Thank you for the time.
All right. You got it. Peace.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.